bet your team to win, I couldn't care less because no one's out there trying to lose.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my cavalcade of stars, Captain for Life, Will Cotton. How you doing this morning, sir, on this taping day?
Doing great, feeling good.
And, of course, my favorite team leader, Mike King. How are you, Mike? Good to see you, Mr. King.
Good to see you, too. Enjoying the summer?
Yes, indeed. So on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, we will discuss NFL gambling problems. Will Colin Kaepernick have the opportunity to return? According to Bleacher Report, there are some less than desirable quarterback rooms. We will talk about that, as well as our favorite stories leading into training camp at the end of the month. So let's get started. Want to bet Isaiah Rodgers and Rashad Berry, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, and free agent Demarius Taylor were suspended indefinitely through at least the 2023 season for betting on NFL games last year. In addition, Tennessee Titans offensive tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere was suspended for 6 games for betting on other sports at the workplace. The Colts, again, got rid of those 2 guys. So let's talk about a little bit about what happened. Sources familiar with the issues says that online sports book accounts used by Rodgers said that upwards of 100 bets were placed, including one wager on a game involving the Colts. A source told media reports that friends of Rodgers who were in Florida encouraged him, damn friends, to place many of the wagers. The largest wager placed was a $1,000 prop bet on an over-under rushing yard total by a Colts running back, which won. Fellas, the players have said their piece about this. The NFL investigated. Rodgers acknowledged the situation on social media, saying that he takes full responsibility for his actions. And in a statement to Adam Schefter, Petit-Frere said the bet I engaged in was not NFL related and was legal under Tennessee law. It was only being sanctioned because it occurred at the Titans facility. I want to apologize, et cetera, et cetera. This is a follow-up to previous suspensions for Detroit Lions players, a Washington Commanders player, Calvin Ridley last year. So, fellas, here are the 6 key rules before I let you chime in. Rule number 1, don't bet on the NFL. Rule number 2, don't gamble at your team facility while traveling for a road game or staying at a team hotel. 3, don't have somebody bet for you. 4, don't share team inside information. 5, don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season. And 6, don't play daily fantasy football. All right, fellas. Who's to blame and how do you fix it? Mike, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
So this is the same NFL that has deals in place with Fox Bet, BetMGM, PointsBet, and WinBet. Is that NFL? That have
Correct.
gambling, that made gambling deals.
Correct.
Because they get it. I have a different take because I was pro Pete Rose for a couple decades at this point. Bet your team to win, I couldn't care less because no one's out there trying to lose. Over-unders, are you gonna try and get that extra running yard? You're gonna tell the coach, I guess maybe, but like, I don't know. If you're betting on a different sport, I could not care less. Not even a little bit. If you're betting on your own team to win, I couldn't care less because I don't think anyone's going out there to lose. The props, I could see where there's some stuff there, but the NFL doesn't like it. Don't make gambling deals with companies so you could profit off it. So that's where I'm kind of like, yeah, I understand the logical why it's wrong piece. I just don't agree completely.
Will, go ahead, brother.
I think that the NFL is doing a great job what they're doing. You know, a lot of people might say I don't think so, but the biggest thing the NFL has to keep sacred is the integrity of the game. Unfortunately, some guys want to bet, do things like that, trying to get over the radar, and they get caught. I had a buddy who was actually he used to work for the Raiders and the Cowboys. And he used to tell me about the times he couldn't play in fantasy football leagues because they couldn't play with money. So this is, I mean, talking about this is like 2014, 2015. So this is a known thing for them. This is known thing. This is not new rules. This isn't, hey, this just came up recently in 2021. This has been going on since like I'm sure like 1900s and now in the 2000s.
Yeah, they had several betting scandals in the 50s and 60s.
You know, and even my friend, he didn't work in like the team. He worked kind of like in the office, front office, not the front office, but in the other organization office where they do promoting like employees and things like that. I would get information. I would get little tips, little like, hey man, so and so's looking good, or man, so and so hurt his ankle, and then we hear that before even. I'm like, oh yeah, bet I'm gonna prop this. So it's integrity, and they're trying to do their best job because, like Mike said, they made $1 billion deal with DraftKings and FanDuel and Points Book or all these other MGM, and they're trying to keep that relationship at least, up and up. But so you have to do what you have to do. If you're betting stupidly to bet in the organization under the dome of your job, it's no difference, coach. There's no difference than going to a porn site and you're at your job. You're not supposed to do that. You do it. People find out. They know how they find out because they log it in the IP and then they fire you. It's no different. Don't do dumb things like that.
Well, I'm going to slide him away from that conversation and say, hey, 34 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico have launched legal betting markets. And Mike, there's one NFL player who is on the record kind of agreeing with you. Patriots cornerback Jonathan Jones used social media last week to suggest players should be allowed to bet on their own teams. Here's what he said, and I quote, according to the tweets, I understand rules are rules, but I can risk my life so that my team wins, but I can't risk $1,000 on my team winning. You could limit bets for only your team benefit, but the NFL likely will not side with him. So, Mike, more importantly, we're in the education business. How do you fix this? How do you fix it?
So, I think the integrity piece is obviously that's what they care about. Yet they don't hire full-time officials where the integrity actually isn't happening. They just want to police the players and not like the average fan. I'm not sitting there going, I think Saquon's not trying. I think he's trying to make money. I think the bookies got to him. I've never thought that. College is different. I've seen blue chips. I mean, college in the past was different. You didn't get paid. Now that you can get money, you want to get that deal. It's not worth the $1,000 to blow the game, right? In the NFL, they're making millions of dollars. I don't think anyone's doing that. The officials, I think, are doing that. So if they care about integrity, that's where they should really focus on instead of just always going after the players. But how do you fix it? I think you just say you can't gamble on football. You can gamble on any other sport you want. Because really, why shouldn't you be allowed to gamble on whatever you want besides football if that's the way they want to go? Because if it's integrity is got to be the only thing they care about. Football is the only piece where integrity would be risked. But I disagree that they shouldn't be allowed to bet on themselves to win. All
right. Will, how would you fix it?
Man, like Mike said, I mean, you can't really, the thing is what they're doing right now kind of works. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think about the small, or not say the big pool of players in the NFL who are now active, I mean, how many have really gotten caught in the last 2 years? Maybe what?
6,
10?
7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it works. I think the situation, they're scaring people. They're like, look, either we're going to pay you enough that you don't need to do this, or scare you enough that if you're dumb enough, we're going to suspend you for a year and then put your contract out. Because we're not hearing guys like OBJ doing, gambling. We don't hear about Lamar.
No, he's on Thursday's show giving out cash.
Yeah. He's good. He's good. He's good. He don't need to bet. So, I mean, I think what they gotten works for now. Now, I think when they run into an issue where they have a very popular player, like a big name, if they catch somebody gambling, then they're going to have to start thinking about things because, that's the only time we change rules is when somebody prominent gets in trouble. And then it's like, well, ho, if somebody who's good getting in trouble, then the rules have to be wrong. We have to figure it out. So
I mean, the greatest basketball player of all time had to take a couple of years off, didn't he?
yeah.
Okay. So will 11 players and at least one assistant coach and an undisclosed number of league personnel have been suspended for violating NFL gambling policy since 2018, according to several media reports. And Mike, we're not doing that. He was mourning the father's death and wanted to try baseball. So with that, when we get back on the Odd Coaches podcast, we're going all over the place. We'll talk about should Colin Kaepernick get another shot, as well as the quarterback rooms. Who's got a pretty poor room, according to Bleacher Report. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast. And in segment 2, fellas, would you bring Cap in for a workout? After 6.5 years of being shunned by the NFL, Colin Kaepernick is still looking for a chance to play. The former 49ers quarterback who protested police brutality of minorities by kneeling during the national anthem has gone unsigned since parting ways with the 49ers following the 2016 season. During a recent interview with Sports Illustrated, the now 35-year-old Colin Kaepernick said he's still working out 5 to 6 days a week, holding out hope that at least one NFL team will give him a chance to return. He said, and I quote, "I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep fighting because I know I can step on the field and play. Every workout, every opportunity I've had to show, the feedback has always been positive." He wants to put the political bias aside of NFL teams and give them a chance. So, fellas, would you bring them in? And we're doing this prior to talking about the worst quarterback rooms in the league, according to Bleacher Report. And that is strategically done. Will, would you bring them in for a workout?
Nah, I'm not wasting my time.
Ouch.
Not wasting my time. This is, I mean, come on. This is we're getting, I mean, look, now it's getting to the point where it's just getting ridiculous. You know, it's like people who are asking about like Justin Blackman. When can we get Justin Blackman back? When is Josh Gordon come back? Like, dude, the NFL is so fast and it changes so quickly. There's no point in looking back like that. I mean, he's not like an Aaron Rodgers or Dan Marino kind of guy. He's a middle tier kind of quarterback. Like, why even waste that time? And then, excuse me, and then why have all that issues, especially on top of that, the media stuff like Colin Kaepernick gets a chance and let's see. And now the media is all on your organization saying, oh, well, you're 1-2. Are you going to start Colin Kaepernick? Or it's don't do it. Don't do it. I don't think there's a situation. If you're good enough that you're going to win, you don't need him. And if you're not good enough to win, that you're kind of working, don't bring him in because you're just going to make things worse. Move on.
Ouch. Mike, you're a social studies teacher. We're all about opportunity in our industry. Every day is a new day. It's another chance to get it right. What do you think? Do you bring them in?
It's the NFL. I would bring anyone in for a workout if they can make the team better. I don't think he's going to make the team better because he's 35, been out of the league for 6 years, like you said. So when this conversation was going on like 3-4 years ago, it was obvious he should have been on a roster. There were plenty of teams where he would have, at the very least, made the team, whether it was backup or, I mean, Commanders haven't had a quarterback in how long? So you can't tell me he could have started on a couple of those teams.
Giants fan,
But
right there.
it's been 6 years. So I'm thinking back to Le'Veon Bell, who was the best running back in the game and missed a year, then kind of like he was gone. Like a lot happens in a year for elite guys. 6 years, Not going to happen, but come on.
Okay.
Come
All
on,
right.
try out.
Mike wants a
Like,
Disney movie. He wants a Disney movie or something.
Mike wants a Disney movie.
He's gonna
Okay.
make it. All he has to do is make it, and boom.
there's plenty of teams out there that could use good press too. And it's, again, worst case scenario. You go, you're 35. Sorry, like that's your worst case. So
Hey, if I'm the
replacement
Jets, I'm bringing him in because I already got Hard Knocks.
If you're,
Nobody-
Pittsburgh. If anybody gonna bring him in, Pittsburgh. Why not?
Okay. So let's talk about that. So according to Bleacher Report, here are the 10 worst quarterback rooms in the NFL. We're going from 10 to 1. And of course, fans, we're doing this in preparation for things that are done, wait for it, strictly for entertainment purposes only, because we're amateur prognosticators and I'm trying to bet. That's what I'm trying to do. So the New England Patriots have Mac Jones as a starter and Bailey, is it Zappi or what is it?
Zappy.
Okay. Mike, what do you think? Is that any good? Now, again, we're not doing the Kaepernick thing the whole time. We're just now talking about the current NFL. What do you think about that quarterback room, Mike?
I think it's closer to average than bottom third, but I think because it's in the AFC East where the quarterbacks are pretty good, it just looks worse by comparison. But I mean, it's in the discussion for bottom 10, but I think it would be more, closer to 13 and 15.
All right. So Pittsburgh has Kenny Pickett as the starter and Mitch Trubisky as the backup. What do you think, man? Are they as bad as Bleacher Report thinks they are?
I think he's bad, but he's young. So he still has a chance to kind of make some things happen. So that's not the worst quarterback room, but it's getting a little ripe. They're like a banana. Right now it's not where it is. It's getting kind of brown looking. It's heading kind of south. So we'll see. You can still make a smoothie.
All right. Mike, Arizona. Kyler Murray is the starter coming off ACL surgery, and I do not know if he will be ready at the start of the season. And his backup is Colt McCoy, former Washington team standout. What do you think, man?
It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Although Colt McCoy, in a survivor pool I was in, I had the Cowboys, and Colt McCoy beat them with this terrible team, and all they did was blitz 10 on whoever the Cowboys quarterback was, and they beat him somehow. So I hate Colt McCoy.
Okay.
Won't forgive him for that. That was late in the season.
We're gonna move on. Will, the Washington Commanders, has the guy I've been trying to talk to you about, Sam Howell, and a sturdy backup in Jacoby Brissett. What do you think, man? What do you think about the Commanders quarterback room?
They love him. I mean, that's what you do in the preseason. Hype him up. Let's go. He can play. He's making throws that I haven't seen since Aaron Rodgers. You hype him. You hear all the crazy stuff, man. Like, I haven't seen a throw since this Aaron Rodgers when he was young. And hype him up, man. And then my boy Jacoby Brissett, former Florida Gators. So always show love to him. You know what I'm saying? It's not the best quarter room by far. And but I think they'll go out and they'll play hard every game. So
don't start with the play hard thing. Okay, I'm gonna scream at you when you say you're supposed to play. Coach Adams came out. Mike. My love affair with the Tampa Bay coaching staff. Rent don't own, fellas. They got Baker Mayfield as a starter and Kyle Trask as the backup. What do you think about that quarterback room?
So I kind of love seeing Baker's decline, just because when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, he had to make a comment about how teams overthink things. And here he is on team 3 or 4 and no one wants him. And Daniel Jones got a contract. So yeah, you suck. Bottom tier.
Okay, that's bottom tier. All right, Will, I saved Tennessee for you because we talked about them, and we're going to go to their third string quarterback as well. So Ryan Tannehill's the starter. They tell us Will Levis is the backup, and Malik Willis is the third string quarterback. What do you think about the Tennessee Titans quarterback room?
Somebody got to get traded for something. it's a mess right now. It's a mess. They can't put any. I mean, there's just. I mean, I can imagine just sitting there just arguing. Who are we going to start? Are we going to be the young kid? Is it going to be the second young kid that we signed, or the expensive old man that we have? What are we going to do? One of them has to go. One of them has to go. They're going to be stuck just in this cavalcade of nonsense if they're just going back and forth. So it's a mess. I wouldn't want to be part of the GM of that, but trade one of them for something. Maybe to the Washington, Malik.
Hey, Sam Howell's going to do it, man. And that's 6.5. I'm going to convince you before the start of the season. I'm not going to. Okay. Mike, Carolina. They have Frank Wright, Maryland alum. They have Bryce Young as the starter and Andy Dalton, Big Red, as the backup. What do you think about Carolina?
Of all the teams we've gone over so far, obviously this one has the most hope. Give me Bryce Young, and yeah, this could easily be top half of the league by the end of the season. So yeah, I'd be very happy in this situation. So this is just Bleacher Report getting clicks. They're going to go after the young kids, but there's a lot of potential, obviously.
Okay. Well, the Indianapolis Colts has your boy Anthony Richardson as the starter. Don't put that boy out there. And Gardner Minshew as the backup. Once they announce their starting quarterback, I'm going right to the phone app and making a strictly for entertainment purposes only wager. What do you think, Will? Are they bottom half?
Oh, bottom half for sure. Both quarterbacks are not good. I watched enough Anthony Richardson to know that he has the physical gifts, but he does not have the real kind of knowledge of the game in terms of where things to go or where things have to work in terms of play. I've seen a lot of bad throws. I mean, the guy can throw a mile, but those aren't the games that win you win games. Those are the ones, the 7 little quick joints, little and boom, right out of bounds. So it's going to be a rough year for them. And I think Minshew is just not good. I think he had a flash in the pan kind of thing, and people are still hanging on to that mustache. It is. It's a gimmick.
That's all I know is the mustache.
If he had a mohawk, he'd have another 3 years in the NFL just for being like a gimmick. But it's going to be a rough year. But the thing about them is, man, they have a pretty good defense, and they have Jonathan Taylor, who can always, affect the game very, very easily, with a quick move or So it'll be.
And if I'm Jonathan Taylor, I have a hamstring injury because running backs aren't being paid
every
right now.
Week,
so
every week,
I'm hurt every week.
Who we playing? Who we playing?
I got a migraine. I can't play. Okay, Mike, Atlanta Falcons. One of the hottest sports cities in the country. Their fans are always with you through thick and thin. Strong fan base in Atlanta. Desmond Ridder is your starter, and Taylor Heineke is your backup. Mike, share your thoughts.
Quarterback room's bad, but there's so much talent around the quarterback that they could make the quarterback room look a lot better than it is. So I would say there's bottom 10 talent that might look like 10 to 20 range, because you're throwing to – you got receivers, you got a tight end, you got a running back. I mean, what else? That's the whole thing. You got it all. Offensive line's good or decent. So, yeah, the quarterback, but talent can make you look good.
All right. And finally, Will, Houston Texans. The starter is C.J. Stroud, and the backup is Davis Mills. What are you thinking? Shout out to Robert. I was hoping to have you on to light them up, but what are you thinking about that?
Well, never trust Ohio State quarterback. That's what I've learned in the last almost 30 years. I've been watching this.
Somewhere Mike Francis is saying, I told you so.
Don't trust Ohio State quarterback. I mean, and not one of them. Maybe you could say, okay, Burrow was once a Buckeye once. No, don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. Houston will be picking a quarterback again the next 3, 4, 5 years for sure. This kid, no way. And Davis Mills, I mean, I think he's better than Stroud now.
Yeah, I had no problem with Davis Mills. They just had nothing.
Yeah. They should have stuck with him. Got him a real legit. I mean, obviously you got to sell tickets, but they could have gotten a real legit left tackle or a D end or edge rusher or a cornerback, somebody to really help your team out, and then go out and kind of see, okay, well, what kind of team do I want? And, I can sure that Coach Ryan, I'm sure he did not want to coach that, pick that kid. So, because he's a
So you
defense
see how we
guy.
loop this back, by the way. So in other words, having somebody like Colin Kaepernick behind CJ Stroud as a mentor
No,
would be
no way.
all right.
Not in
Well,
Houston.
well, fans, when we get back, we're going to give you your team's training camp opening days and find out what's the stories that you should follow as we get ready for the NFL season. We'll be right back on the Hot Coaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
I'm done with you. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, we're getting you all ready for NFL training camps as well as our Odd Coaches season previews of NFL teams. So just like we did in segment 1, well, Arizona, their training camp facility is State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Rookies and veterans report on July 25th. What's one thing Arizona fans should look for or talk about? My guess is the Kyler Murray leg injury, ACL injury.
The 2024 draft.
It's all about the draft. Okay. So we're taking the under on Arizona. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mike, Atlanta, the IBM Performance Field in Flowery Branch, Georgia. Rookies come in July 18th. Veterans come in July 25th. What about Atlanta should fans take a look at?
The offense, star power. And again, if it doesn't go well, you get a quarterback. If this is good enough, see, a team like Atlanta should do what the Colts were doing for all those years and find the old vets that could, with the talent, work. Like an Aaron Rodgers type, and with that talent, could have been interesting. But yeah, Atlanta's it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a track show.
All right. Will, Baltimore, Under Armour Performance Center in Owings Mill. Rookies come July 18th. Veterans come July 25th. What should Baltimore look for?
What their running back room is going to look like. Who's going to lead it? How are they going to run it? Because, I don't really think their running back room is that good. So I think that, Lamar, we got C's out there, and then wide receivers. So, they're doing a lot of
They got all first round wide receivers out there.
Yeah. So there's a lot to see in terms of the skill set and what they're going. So running backs, receivers, they're going to be big in terms of what's going on. Everything else will be kind of standard with Baltimore.
All right, Mike, we got Buffalo at St. John Fisher University in Rochester. Rookies are coming on the 18th of July. Veterans are coming on the 25th. What should Buffalo look for? And I'm thinking about taking the under. What do you think?
I think the only thing Buffalo cares about really is what's going to happen in January and February. So this is one of those teams where don't even pay attention until halfway through the season, as long as I think they should be a playoff team. The AFC's got a lot of good teams, but this depth chart, just look at the depth chart. Don't pay attention too much till it matters.
All right. Carolina will be at Wofford College in Spartansburg, South Carolina. Rookies are coming July 22nd and veterans are coming July 25th. Talk to me about Carolina.
They should get their camaraderie together and stay healthy. It's going to be a long season. So,
Man, they can win the NFC with the South.
oh
They
yeah,
can win that. They can win
but
that.
health is part of that. Stay health, and then have their camaraderie. They can just, man, that can go further than with that bad division. So
it's a horrible division.
yeah.
Okay, Mike, Chicago, the PNC Center at Hallis Hall in Lake Forest, Illinois. Rookies are coming July 22nd. Veterans are coming July 25th. What about the Bears? Shout out to Miss Marie Cook.
They got some rookies, so they got to pay attention to that. They got some interesting pieces now. A lot of young talent. It's all going to come down to quarterback play, but there's a last half of that season was exciting. Sometimes those teams that start to look good at the end, or like at least look better from your young guys, then you kind of go into the year with hope. So I'm looking at all the people 25 and under because there's a lot of them.
All right. Will, Cincinnati, Paycor Stadium. Is that like the new name for Bengals Field or something? That's in Cincinnati, Ohio. Rookies are coming on the 22nd of July. Veterans are coming on the 25th. What are you thinking about Cincinnati?
Joe Burrow, get him into a quick start. Last year he kind of like a slow start, and he kind of had to work into the season, and they ended up the end being great. So they need to kind of work off the early kind of rust of the summer, and hopefully he's not partying with his boys. He actually get in, working it in. So that's what I'm focusing on if I was Cincy.
All right, Mike, Cleveland, Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Barrera, Ohio. Rookies are coming on the 19th of July, and the veterans are coming on the 21st. What do you think about Cleveland? And try not to give us a lost episode.
Cleveland. So you just start looking at your mock drafts. Every year, once you get to this time, you go, oh, I wonder who we're going to get next year.
Cleveland's got the highest paid quarterback, and he's got a year with them. Come on, man. Are you disrespecting the Browns and Deshaun Watson?
I mean, I'm just going by historical trends.
All right. And you got me in my heart when you said history. Okay. Will, Dallas at the Marriott Residence Inn in Oxnard, California. Rookies and vets are coming July 25th. What do you think about the Cowboys?
Jerry doesn't have a facility in Texas to have training camp? That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous.
That's your takeaway?
Another losing year.
Takeaway?
Another losing year. Another losing year coming.
Okay.
That's ridiculous to me.
Mike, Denver, the Centura Health Training Center in Inglewood, Colorado. Rookies are coming July 19th, and veterans are coming July 25th. What's going on in Denver?
I feel like the only thing they have to look forward to is what the next Subway commercial is going to be.
Oh, man. Russ has another year. They got Sean Payton. You're not buying any of it.
Sean Payton has been spending the last couple of years or whatever it was on the Colin Cowherd show. So just like we talked about players, when you're gone for a little bit, league changes very quickly. I don't know. He also had this Drew Brees guy that might have been a big part of that. We'll find out.
Okay. All right, Will, Detroit, the Detroit Lions training facility in Allen Park, Michigan. Rookies are coming July 19th, and vets are coming July 22nd. What are you about the Lions? A lot of people are hot on the Lions, sir.
Over.
Over for sure. I'm hoping Dan Campbell can figure out what that is to can push him into the playoffs. He's a great coach. The guys love him.
They play hard for that guy.
They play hard, so they can figure out the formula and they can get to the playoffs. But there's a lot of energy coming through Detroit, so I'm very, very, very hopeful. And they haven't had that a lot in a long time, so this is exciting for them. So let's see if they can move forward with that momentum.
All right, Mike, Green Bay. They train at Lambeau Field. Boring. In Green Bay, Wisconsin. Rookies are coming on the 21st of July. Veterans are coming on the 25th. Tell me about the Packers post Rodgers.
Some teams just seem to just go from coach to coach or quarterback to quarterback, like the Steelers and the Packers. So I'm kind of interested to see if the quarterback baton gets passed and things stay pretty good, because this is another. I think I don't know if it's a sneaky over, but division.
Tell me this kid can play, Mike. That's what they say.
Division's nothing special. The Vikings are definitely on the way back down. The Lions potentially could rise, and the Bears. Who knows? Everyone's young. People are kind of sleeping on the Packers. I kind of think they could be decent.
Okay. All right, Houston, Will, at the Houston Methodist Training Center in Houston, Texas. Everybody's coming on July 25th. What do you think about the Texans?
Oh, they got a pool they can play because they're just gonna be having fun. And they get this 2024. Remember the draft.
Okay.
They ain't doing nothing.
Mike, Indianapolis, you brought them up. Their training facility is called Grand Park in Westfield, Indiana. Everybody's coming on July 25th. What do you think about the Colts?
I mean, I'd say they should lose their way to Caleb Williams, but they had a great quarterback and did nothing. So it's just one of those All
right. Sounds like the end of me. Okay. Will, Jacksonville, Miller Electric Center in Jacksonville, Florida. Rookies are coming July 21st. Vets coming July 25th. Jacksonville made some noise last year. What do you think?
Yeah, they won that playoff game. They were hyped up, man. They were going, and I hope that carries over. Hope that turns to the energy that they get for the summer. Everybody's pretty much young, so they're going to be in there kind of running around and stay healthy and ready to go. But we'll see what happens with Jacksonville. They have a chance. They could obviously, because who else in their division? It's Indy,
Houston, Indy, and Tennessee.
They could win the division easily.
Yes, they could.
Easily.
Okay. All right. Mike, Kansas City, Missouri Western State University, St. Joe's, Missouri. Rookies are coming July 18th. Vets are coming July 22nd. Can Kansas City repeat? Is that what they're going to talk about all year?
I mean, the answer is they obviously can. And then when it comes to what are you watching early, nothing, because they'll find a wide receiver that no one wants, and he'll come in and he'll be good. And it's just the system's so good, quarterback's so good, the coach is so good. It's just fun to watch, especially because it's a team I don't hate. If it was a team that I hated and they were doing that well, NFL would be miserable. But Kansas City's fine.
Yeah. All right, Will, Las Vegas at the Intermountain Health Performance Center and Raiders headquarters in Henderson, Nevada. Hey, fans, in a couple of years, Henderson, Nevada might be a spot for CKA, but we'll talk later. July 20th for the rookies, July 25th for the vets. How are the Raiders going to look this year, Will?
Man, Jimmy G already looked bad. They've already talking about his foot. When you start off as a year like that and you lose Darren Waller, get him out of here.
Caleb Williams watch. They're on Caleb Williams watch.
They're on Caleb Williams watch. All right.
Much.
Mike, the Chargers, Jack Hamill Sports Complex, Costa Mesa, California. Rookies, July 18th. Veterans, July 25th. What do we got here, sir, for the Chargers?
I feel like if I was a Charger fan, this would kind of be the year where I'd be like, Herbert's got to do more. If we're going to keep talking about him being so great, it's time to see it. At least got to win a playoff game. Got to do something. Otherwise, you're not getting rid of him, but you're kind of like, we got Phillip Rivers again. He's good. He's okay. He'll get us here. He won't get us there.
Okay. Will, the Rams are at University of California, Irvine, California. Everybody's coming on July 25th. What are you thinking about with the Rams this year?
Yeah, I'm a little excited to see the rookie. Was Stetson? What's his name?
Stetson Bennett?
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, they said he's been doing pretty well, and is like,
wait, 30 years old.
Me and him the same age.
He's an SEC quarterback, and franchise it out on the show. We're like, this dude's 26, and Lamar Jackson's played in the league 5 years.
Right.
Jiminy
It's good.
Crickets.
At least they have a nice facility. It's a nice facility. They're gonna have some nice, some nice food. I'm sure they're gonna have some nice,
It's Cal Irvine. They even have a football team.
no, but there should be some golf, so there'll be a lot of fun for their training camp. So good for them. But yeah, they'll time to hit the reset button for them.
Okay. All right. So, Mike, Miami, the Baptist Health Training Complex in Miami Gardens, Florida. Rookies are coming July 18th. Vets are coming July 25th. What about the Dolphins? Is this their year?
You said the health training?
The Baptist Health Training Complex.
That's fitting because that's their season is health. If the quarterback is healthy
And praying.
They could go pretty far. But when he goes out, the whole thing. I mean, they played well in the playoff game, right? Wasn't it close?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fighting with nothing. So there's tons of talent. They just, I don't know if they added pieces to the line, but they need to have the best offensive line ever because he can't be touched.
Well, he's doing judo training, so he knows how to fall better.
Yeah.
So don't you worry about that.
Fall
Okay.
training.
Fall.
Okay.
But that means you're planning on falling, so that's not good.
Right.
All right, Will, Minnesota, the TCO Performance Center in Eagan, Minnesota. Shout out to our super producer, Kelly, who is in Minnesota. I'm sure it's not snowing right now. Rookies are coming July 23rd, and vets are coming July 25th. What's going on in Minnesota, Will?
Try and win the North. Try and win it. It'll be tough. They're going to be fighting against a really tough Chicago team, a really tough Detroit team. But they have the best chance. I mean, they're the team, quote unquote, think they should be the most matured. But without Dalvin, I don't think that happens. Keep moving.
All right. Mike, New England, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Rookies are coming July 21st. Vets are coming July 25th. What's going on with the Patriots?
I mean, they look to be the bottom of the division. So now it's about losing enough so you can start fixing it. And it might be with a new coach, but
we're on the Belichick watch.
Yeah, right.
Different time.
All right. Will, New Orleans, the Ochsner Sports Performance Center in Metairie, Louisiana. Rookies are coming July 18th. Vets are coming July 25th. What's going on with the Saints? Crab Legs is back, but I think they got another starting quarterback. I forgot.
Yep, Derek Carr.
There we go.
Yep, they paid him a ton of money to come too. We'll see, but it's like the Hunger Games in the NFC South, man. Anyone can win. Just gotta get in there and do what you gotta do. So there should be a lot of optimism. They should be they should win. They could win and get to the playoffs and keep going from there. But they have good reason to. They have the better. I think probably the best quarterback that you can even think of in the division in terms of. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, fans. I did this correct when I started the list. Mike, the New York Giants, Quest Diagnostics Training Facility in East Rutherford. Is that just the fancy spot name for Meadowlands? Anyway, rookies are coming July 18th. Vets are coming July 25th. What are we expecting from the Giants this year, sir?
So the offense is going to look very different. Darren Waller is the first piece in allowing less eyes on Saquon, but also they really made an effort to put speed in the wide receiver room. They took Paris Campbell from the Colts, who was give me every Ohio State wide receiver, especially if they were on a team without a quarterback, because in the right situation, any Ohio State wide receiver could work out. So I like that. And then they got Jalen Hyatt, who had 5 touchdowns against Alabama, and he goes in the 3rd round, which, the NFL probably maybe his pinky is a certain size and needs to be this size. If you got 5 touchdowns against Alabama, I think you're worth drafting earlier than the 3rd round. So I'm excited to see they've been airing the ball out more in the camps. And Daniel Jones, for a couple of years, was like the highest rated quarterback. And the deep ball, they just never did it because they didn't have an offensive line that could give him time. They didn't have receivers. What do I think, though? I think the regression to the mean is kind of what usually happens, right? So schedule's harder. I can see them taking a step back but being better, I think, is what's going to end up happening. They're going to take a step back, but the team itself will be a better team. And I think Kayvon Thibodeau could explode this year. That's what I'm looking for.
See, fans, Mike's a Giants fan. He got like really deep and serious, and I love that. All right, Will, the Jets. I wanted you to have this one. The
Circus.
Atlantic Health Jets training facility in Florham Park, New Jersey. Rookies are coming on the 19th of July, and the vets are coming on the 19th. The Jets get to come early. Wow, I need to make a note of that. What are you thinking about the Jets, Will?
Hey, the excitement in New York is crazy right now. Buffalo's good. The Giants are exciting. The Jets are supposed to be really good. I mean, that's a really good vibe going for New York. Unfortunately, I think the Jets will. I think all three will actually make the playoffs. I think I don't know the last time it's happened, but I think it all happens. I think Giants going to win. I think Giants going to win wild card. I think the Jets get a wild card, and obviously Buffalo going to win the Giants. So,
all right, well,
exciting
Mike,
time to be a New Yorker.
Let's wake everybody back up. Philadelphia is in the NovaCare Complex in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Everybody's coming back July 25th. What do you think about Philly?
They lost a lot of starters, but the NFC is really weak, and they're clearly the top. So they might take a step back, but still easily be the favorite in the NFC. Good team. I hate them. They're a good team.
Okay. All right. Will, you got Pittsburgh, St. Vincent College. I know it very well. Shout out to Chad Dickman and several others. Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Everybody's coming back July 26th. What do you got?
They should be excited about see what's going on. Hopefully Pickett can turn it around because, I mean, he has everything he needs. You know, he has a pretty decent tight end, good receivers. I mean, his running back can actually catch the football. You know, you have a great, not great defense, but you have a good enough defense that they can kind of, hold off any kind of interceptions or fumbles, things like that. It's the oyster. The world is his oyster. You know, and he just has to snatch it. I don't know if he can do it. So, but they'll have a good time until guys start getting hurt, and then they'll start to kind of,
Mike Tomlin doesn't lose, man. All right. So
did last year.
He had a winning record. I remember I bet on that all.
Wasn't it?
The winning record.
It wasn't. What? Oh,
he
I
kept.
thought it
He's
was
never.
a tie.
I think no, because
He was 9-8, if I'm not mistaken.
He's never had a losing record. He's had a higher above. So yeah, he kept that.
All right. So, Mike, San Francisco, the SAP Performance Facility in Santa Clara. Rookies are coming July 18th, and vets are coming on the 25th. What about San Francisco right now?
Clear cut number 2 for the NFC. Mm-hmm. But when you got 8 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. So they could talk about how all these quarterbacks they have so many, but then what happened? They were in the playoffs. They were down to like their 9th quarterback, and again, none of them are the guy. They've got a bunch of guys, and they still couldn't keep one of them for the playoffs. So I'd be concerned about that.
Okay.
And what do they have? Sam Darnold?
Man, I will ask Fowler later. Okay. Will, Seattle, the Virginia Mason Athletic Center in Renton, Washington. Everybody's coming on the 25th of July. What about Seattle? Does Pete Carroll have another rabbit coming out of the hat?
I don't know. I think, last season was pretty special. The resurrection of
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith's, season career, I guess I would say. It's hard to emulate that twice. It's hard to really, and Kenneth Walker kind of stood, came up and be like, all right, I'm the man, and played pretty well, got hurt. They still got the good receivers. The defense is kind of decent. It'll be a good season. I don't know if they make the playoffs. I think it'll be kind of teeter around that like 9 and 7 and 9 wins, but I don't know if they. Again, I was wrong last year, so who knows? I said they're going to be terrible, and they won the division, so who knows?
All right, Mike, Tampa Bay, the Adventist Health Training Center in Tampa, Florida. Rookies are coming on the 24th of July. Vets are coming on the 25th. Rent don't own. What do you think about Tampa Bay?
Well, Seattle for me is a sneaky over, but Tampa Bay draft watch, their mock draft, just Can this season end quick enough, please? That's where I'd be at if I was them.
Okay.
We got our Super Bowl a couple years ago. It was worth it, but now it stinks.
Now it stinks. Okay. Will, Tennessee, the Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park in Nashville, Tennessee. I've heard nothing but good things about Nashville. I have to put it on my visit list. Rookies are coming July 22nd. Vets are coming July 25th. What do you think about Tennessee?
Stay healthy and choose a quarterback and stick with it.
Choose
Maybe
a
even
quarterback
two.
and stick with it.
Get rid of the third guy.
Okay. And finally, Mr. King, the Washington Commanders are at the Ortho, Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park. Rookies come July 21st. Vets come July 25th. What do you think about the Commanders?
If Sam Howell wants to be an all-time great Washington Commander, he needs to be terrible this year so they can get the quarterback they're missing and then be a real threat, because the wide receivers are scary. The running backs are scary. There's some decent offensive linemen. The defensive line's great. Boy, if they had like quarterback, I don't know, that was at USC right now, they'd be a threat they'd be the scariest team in the NFC East in the next 10-year window. So if Sam Howell really wants to help this team out, just be the quarterback we all think he is.
Be yourself. And ain't nobody going to Virginia. Get out of here. I'm going to Mills. Get out of here. That's like a 2-hour drive.
So, fans, and I don't know how they're going to do their open. Usually they do something in Richmond for the training camp, but I don't know how they're doing that now.
I ain't going.
But fans, this was great. And again, I'm taking notes because I'm getting ready for doing things strictly for entertainment purposes only. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Franchise, and our cavalcade of stars, Will Cotton and Mike King, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Eye Coaches podcast. We'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Eye Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.